This is the second time I'm trying to record the video, right? Because I'm trying to be like, oh yeah, guys, it's Golden Kamuy! And last episode, they were... It's like, how do you talk about this anime? So hello, I'm on here trying to review and react to Golden Kamuy. Final episode, I believe, right? Of course, unfortunately, the anime, right, had, half season last year, right? Half now, unfortunately, death, right? And it's one of my all-time favorite animes, right? And last week we had one of the weirdest scenes that's ever been done, right? Having the characters having a fight with the man use. Yeah, it was Golden Kamuy, let's say that. My favorite scene, of course, was when, detective, right, is on the horse, and then he shoots at him when he's climbing on the horse, and he's like, "It's in my eyes!" And he falls off the horse, right? Because he's like, "Ah, I got it in my eye!" And he hops off the horse, and he's like, "No." Yeah, okay, but let's watch the episode. And yeah, of course, the clown guy was one of the killers, obviously. Of course it was! Yeah, the clown killer! Of course the clown guy was a killer! Jesus Christ, man, it's a freaking good movie. So, 3, 2, 1, and go. That's what the reaction to the movie is on. But it's the final episode, I believe, unfortunately. I don't know if they announced next. I just got home right since the wedding. I don't know if they announced next season. But yeah, they're out here doing stuff here. I see it plus one, like it's spring, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty good volume. No. Teach him a little bit about life. Leather tree. Well, it's true though. I mean, trees aren't of course equally hard. No, some trees are much better for using for tools or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Like bamboo grows faster or whatever. Yeah. I guess I'm skipping the opening maybe because you said Golden Kamuy there. Yeah, it's a final episode. Oh no, it's back to the sound effect. Back to the no. Use the dial it back a bit. No, stop it. Stop it. Why is it back to him? I'm the only one working. Oh my god. Why is it back to his special attack? Ogata is a weirdo. No, compared to Ogata, he's a psychopath. Yeah, Ogata is a psychopath. This guy is, why is he aiming at him for it? Yeah, it was Ogata, yeah, her half-brother, exactly. Konniyaro when he comes there, yeah. Yeah, well, she killed, of course. Yeah, he killed. Yeah, Ogata killed his brother. Yeah, we know, of course. You didn't know? Oh my god, what is this thing? Why does he keep doing it for? There's having a discussion about Ogata's killing his brother while he's doing it. Oh god, this anime. This goddamn anime. Yeah, he keeps doing it. Yeah. Why? Yeah, Ogata's like everyone's the same, yeah. Well, this guy is his best friend. Do you regret killing Russians? Well, I killed my best friend. It's like, no, he doesn't. He definitely doesn't. Yeah, we got this. Like, yes, love between parents is who cares, Yeah. It's a Russian, I guess. God, I killed the Russian. No, yeah, this is of course his brother. You can't do it, of course, yeah. Why does he keep touching himself? Oh my god. don't know, man. Ogata's philosophy is kind of weird. It's like, yeah, of course it's good having Suda-san's voice again. Exactly, good. Kill me brother a second. Yeah, sådan det stands there in there. Yeah. Like if this is getting off. He loves the shit. He's like, oh yeah, we got a blue ball. My god, this gets him off. This is his head time, man. I got bad things to do that. Watch this shit. Yeah, like that's what he gets off from. Yeah, talking about how Ogata. Yeah. I know he's jumping on Ogata's bed when he's in here. What is this? He's jumping on his bed to piss him off when he's talking to him. Yeah, then his own father as well, right? We know that, right? Yeah, his father as well. Yeah. Was he the driver, of course? Yeah, he was the driver. I wasn't doing it. He was the driver. I was like, oh yeah. Oh my god. My god, this is so terrible. Oh my god, this keeps like, oh yeah. Man, this is the weirdest hentai ever, man. Yeah. I can hope we got the kills now. I mean, we got the kills a lot of people, right? I can hope we got the kills now. Yeah, nobody loves you, Gata. I can hope we got, I guess, revenge on him. Yeah, because he's obsessed with, he's in love with Tsurumi, exactly. He's in love with Tsurumi, but Ogata isn't. Ogata is does not because he's interested by it. Yeah, Ogata I think you kill him, because Ogata isn't in love with Tsurumi at all, right? Ogata is does crazy stuff because he's crazy. Ogata is kind of like Thanos, I think. It's very comparable, yeah. He's just like, I want to kill people because I want to see what happens, you know. He's just like, interesting if I defeat my family or whatever, yeah. He's just like doing it because it's interesting, right? Because it's fun for him, yeah. He doesn't actually follow Tsurumi because he likes Tsurumi that much. He follows him more about interest. Yeah, well, he's more like, I want to be a pawn. I wouldn't believe you if you told me you're Nakamas. Yeah, exactly, I wouldn't believe you if you're not the same. But he's probably the most dedicated Tsurumi fan, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he's the one that loves Tsurumi the most. Yeah, you feeble-minded delusions. You tell him, Suda-san, yeah, you're a peasant. Yeah, you're the cheapest pawn, there we go. You're a peasant, yeah, you're the pawn, you're a peasant. And then he beats him with what, like his share or something? He's just pretending to be injured in the battle, yeah. Classic Ogata, man. The classic Ogata, man. Just pretending to be... Yeah, the bed. Yeah, he called me the cheapest pawn, yeah. You're a peasant, yeah. I'm the best pawn, yeah. Kom nu gör det! Keeps doing it! Keeps doing it! Oh, I can't say anything! Why does he keep doing it for? It's like... Yeah, he keeps doing it while he's talking about it. Holy shit, this episode. This is like an 8-minute hentai scene, yeah. He was regards out sniping stuff. Yeah, he's a sniper after all. He's a good, you know... He's a psychopath, so easy for him to be a sniper. Yeah, back at being a sniper again. No, I have to kill someone first. You're a sniper again? No, I have to kill some people first. Classic Ogata. I need to snipe someone first. You sniper skills back until I snipe some humans. So I'm gonna go around and be a little bit of a sniper, you know. Yeah, okay, good. That's Ogata for you. Now they got the Kappa Pie with them. Yeah, they got the new best friend long hair, man. Yeah, it's a little business, yeah. Oh, I figured out that it's her daughter, yeah. Because he's Russian. Yeah. Because he's a Russian guy, you know, it's European, you know, yeah, he got the blue eyes, you know, he's like, I do, right? Yeah, but of course, you know, he's not Japanese, right? He's, Russian, as we know, of course, and she's half Russian, of course, Asirpa. So she got blue eyes like her father, yeah. Is that a gold coin, I guess? More like maybe a pet. But it could be like a coin with like a pet on. Yeah, it looks like a house or something. It looks like a pet on that coin. Was it a squirrel? Yeah, squirtle. Yes! No! We can eat it! Sirpa was like, let's eat its brain and make it into gloves. It's like, no, Sirpa, no! We can, oh, what a cute squirrel. Yeah, let's consume it. It's like, no, Sirpa, no, stop it. Yeah. Air constellation. Yeah. The Kuma constellation. Yes. Yes, it is the penis constellation. Holy shit, it's anime, yeah. Definitely a bit of definitely it's the constellation of man. What? Was the wolf? Yeah, so beautiful now I'm talking about. Reta-chan. I guess Reta must return. I feel like it's a flag for Reta to return, yeah. Wolf body will return. Yeah, it's like the turn of the Reta, man. Yeah, they want the gold, of course, for their Russian rebellion, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, but he loves you as Sirpa, right? Come on, go back and live with your lover. He wants to leave that Sirpa, right? Oh, there we go. He will leave me. He's gonna leave me. Okay, this is weird. Someone's cut a little bit of the trees. Maybe it's like a warning. Are the traps? Okay, yeah, fall. Yeah, because I feel like I have a little weird. Yeah, the half slice of tree, right? So I guess a kind of trap, yeah. Like someone has sliced slight bit of a tree, right? So it's Oh no, Sugimoto's gonna get hit by 3. Well, he is the immortal Sugimoto. But maybe another killer, I suppose. Maybe another person in the... Yeah. Like, very advanced trap that having to cut down, like... Oh, okay, they domino it. They domino them. Yeah, like sugar pieces. Yeah, it's domino strikes. What's happening? That's also bleeding. She hit my head in here too. Yeah. Daishobu? Oh, she's stuck under the boss stuck in a tree. Gunpowder! Like, wake up! It smacks her like a... Oh, they're playing Pog. Yeah, they're playing Pog. It's like kid, man. You drop this thing. Come on, man. It's mine. What it says the Pog, man. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, the Russian's back. What? Russian waifu's back, man. Why is she back for? And why is she like a Super Saiyan for? Why is her hair like is it the wind? She seems dangerous. Yeah, but you go staring at her like she seems really dangerous. That woman looks very, very dangerous. Yeah, she was there hiding in the exactly saw it happening. Yeah, I can't show that it's I think he's in love with the Silpa, right? What, Umershan? Ooh. Looks like the trap master a bit, yeah, designed for face. Yeah, I guess they died, they couldn't. He just left after they all died, yeah. She married someone else. Oh yeah, Torai. He couldn't afford it, you know. That's kind of what it is back in the days, right? Yeah, I couldn't afford her dowry, basically. Yeah. Basically couldn't afford her dowry, I guess. Well, I see it. Yeah. Then they saved him in the war, of course, he dies. Yeah, Torea dies, of course, in the war. Yeah, so we didn't know this stuff, but... It's a good friend, I think. Yeah, he doesn't care about the money, man. He's like their best bro. Like, this is my friends! Yeah, he obviously figured out that it's his daughter. Yeah, he's like, shut up, it's my friends! Yeah, he's like, shut up, they're my nakamas! I don't care about that. Yeah, I gotta pay for eye surgery. Here we go. I will stay as your partner. That's you satisfied. Here we go. Oh my god. Let's get married, yeah. He's an escape thief. Yeah, he just snakes his way in there. He says, Christ, this guy, man. He just... Yeah, he just pushes his face in there like a snake, man. Nah, I think I like him. Maybe it's kid from it. He's my friend, yeah. No. He's my bro. I trust him. I trust him as my bro, man. Yeah, should tell him. We trust him. He's our best friend. I just cute. He's like, Shirachi is a good boy. He's here saving them and crying. But how's he gonna escape now then? Oh, okay, Mr. Hood is there, yeah. My Russian bestie is there. Okay, so yeah, I guess the carpenter guys are gonna have them out, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have them out there. There's a huge number of trees there you cut down. It is hectic, yeah, I've heard about it before. Like, it's cutting down a lot of trees and using dominoes so that they spend. Well, yeah, but I mean, sure. Of course, you're gonna help them, right? They're just random, like, woodworker guys or whatever, so you're probably gonna feel guilty that hit some of the trees right now. It's a nice, like, moment there, but definitely doesn't feel like a final episode, of course. It's the middle of the storyline, yeah. Go read the manga, I guess. Let's see if they announce a 5, right? But definitely feel that it's not, like, ending at all. No real conclusion to the murder guy and the man use and so on. Yeah, he knew it for a while, man. This guy's smart, man. Yeah. He does look like a Petra, it does look like a... Ah, of course. Crossroads, yeah, crossroads paths. Maybe he wanted them to ally up, yeah, with like some kind of East nation somehow. Maybe. Who didn't? Yeah, who did kill Ironson? Maybe Sophia? I think maybe. But yeah, they had no opening, so. That's the end, guys, yeah, of one of my all-time favorite animes. It definitely ends a little bit on... I mean, it kind of gives a little motivation, right? Let's review it all. I am very tired now, otherwise I would like to do a longer review. But honestly, I sit here, guys. I love Golden Kamuy, right? But I would love to... I'm not gonna do a full review now for you of the whole season because I feel like I would have to go back first, right? You know what I mean? And rewatch those first 7 episodes to make it fair, yeah. Because I didn't actually rewatch them before this half started, right? Because I remember what happened in them, but I like to rewatch them first before I do like a full review. I feel, you know what I mean? Because it's been like half a year between those. So if it's a little weird, yeah. So I probably wanna binge them. I'm making another video later where I binged all the 12, 13 episodes and then talk about it again. But I focus on this episode, but also a little bit on the year. This is probably the final review, right? So talking about the season, generally speaking, then another good episode, right? Of course, I'll be that guy. But I will say this thing though. I do like it though, right? When animes have a little bit of like a final episode, even if it clearly is an ongoing anime, I like them to have like a final, if it's a little bit like cliffhanger or something, where it pulls me into like, oh, this could happen, or a reveal or whatever. And even this kind of ends on like a kind of like a middle note, which is like, oh, my father wasn't evil, he didn't kill them, right? That's kind of how it ends. And it's a little bit of a twist, but not a big twist. So, still the best ending in Golden Kamuy, I would say, is of course season 2, right? Of course, when they end, or episode 24, halfway through. where it of course ends at the prison, right? That still is the biggest part, I would say, like bam, right? And now we're kind of like, yeah, okay, it ends, but you know, this is very much the middle of the storyline, right? That's definitely a problem for this anime, I was speaking now, from an anime standpoint, right? That most of these plot points aren't resolved. I'm not talking about the bigger plot, I'm not talking about where the goal is, right? I'm talking about the subplot line, like what happened to the clown guy, he wasn't revealed. What happened with the Jack the Ripper guy and so on, yeah. So we haven't really resolved most of these, many of these like longer serial killer plot lines haven't been resolved, right? They have been, but I think this is the here, honestly, it's a little more dragged out, I think. Not in his favor, I have to say, in some of these side notes. I'm not talking about the main story again, right? I'm talking about like that guy in the Ripper guy, right? The Ripper guy, he has a lot of episodes on him, yeah. If you go back to season 1, most of the serial killers would have, 2 episodes, maybe maximum 3, right? But here I feel now we're at what, episode like 4 or something, maybe 5 or something. And of course, his screen time was a lot last episode, and before that, it wasn't that much. But I was saying what I mean here, that I feel some of these killers, right, their plot lines have been way longer now, right? Like they've been covering more episodes, and that is probably isn't a strength of the anime. I think it was better earlier when they covered like those, quicker. Yeah, it was better when they covered those. Where it was kind of like, here's the new bad guy. He likes fishing, deal with that, and then the next guy. Right? Yeah. Now we've been like 3-4 guys that be kind of overlapping several arcs or mini arcs, I guess I call it better. And that probably is a strength, especially now that when the anime ends without resolving some of these plot lines, right? So that doesn't happen at all. But I do think the anime was better probably earlier on that standpoint. Otherwise, I mean, the main story is still as good as always, like that. The main story is still as interesting as always, right? Who's the killer? Who's the money? What's happening over there? Yeah, who's the traitor? All that stuff is still really good. But for example, the first bit with Ogata, he's Ogata's backstory and so on. I love Ogata, of course, Ken Suda. That's a really good part, right? But that wasn't really about, it wasn't really about the actual guy, right? It wasn't about him. It was about Agatha, yes. Yes, they were talking about it during the alley scene, right? Sure. They were talking about it during the alley scene, but it wasn't really about the actual guy. It was about Agatha, right? So that works differently, right? It's like 10 minutes about Agatha, rather, right? Or him or Usami's their like friendship or whatever, I guess. So that kind of works, I suppose. But I think a lot of episodes here have been a little bit more. They've been a little more jumpy, right? Certainly been more jumpy, I think, this season. But there've been some really good highlights. I think the best episode is probably the one where of course he has to run away with his with Inkarmat, yeah. The Inkarmat pregnancy episode or birth episode, right? Childbirth episode. That's probably the best episode. That was really good. That was a 10 episode. The poison fishing, yeah, the poison fishing one was pretty cool too. The poison trap, the weird roulette thing and so on. But that's what I mean. That's what I like with Wen Kamuy, right? Because that guy was like, I'll say it. They usually have some weird ideas, right? These criminals, these murder guys, and his was like fate, right? Ume. He was like fate or destiny. So Ume means fate in Japanese, or like destiny, I guess. Umi means ocean, right? So Ume, that's like your I would say fate, yes, probably best to say it. So Ume guy was interesting because he was obsessed with I poisoned the food, right? But I only poisoned some of the food, so you might survive. I had this like roulette table, you might die, right? So he was a really cool character. He was obsessed with like luck or bad luck, right? So he was like, only a person with good luck can defeat me, right? Because I have this stuff and so on. So he wasn't willing to kill the guys, right? He wasn't willing to kill the other guys because he didn't actually. I mean, he was willing to kill the good guys, right? But not in a practical way. He was like, I will kill you if you die by my trap, which is random ways. You know what I mean? So they could beat him by having luck, right? Because he believed in like luck. So he was like, that was a really interesting character. I like that, right? But he also was, I think, better structure. About earlier, because he was in like 2 episodes, I think, right? 1 episode, 1 half episode, and he was, he enters, You get his backstory. You get his, this is his in prison. Then they fight him, or them, but they fight him. One of the guys fights him, they beats him, and then it keeps going. You know what I mean? That's probably where I think Kamuy shines the most, right? It's like interesting serial killer, interesting personality, right? Interesting philosophy. He's evil, and they defeat him, and then they move on, right? And I think that the second half has been a little bit more like, it's like 3-4 bad guys, 5 maybe even like a couple of bad guys, right? And they haven't really, you know what I mean, really resolved them, or giving them their backstories, or like they've been in the mist a bit, and then it's a bunch of other stuff happening at the same time. And yeah, I feel it's definitely lost a little bit of pacing. But one thing is done very well though, this season, is to be focusing a lot on the soldiers, right? It's focusing more on Tsurumi's guys mostly, right? So that's also probably why the serial killer storyline has slowed down, I would say, right? The serial killer, yes, speaking, right? Those guys has the less screen time. It's been more about, Osami, Ugata a little bit, more of the other guys, right? And that'd be interesting, yeah. And how Tsurumi has like built them up and so on. So I guess that's one reason why we have slower stories on the prisoners, and instead of focusing on the crazy guys on the good side. the soldiers are quite evil, yeah. Focusing on the team of evil soldiers instead, which are also all crazy. But maybe that would be better earlier. I don't know, yeah. I think a little bit, to some extent, it probably would have been better earlier actually. Some of these backstories had probably been more interesting having earlier in the storyline. So you would care more about the crazy bad guys, or rather maybe hate them more, right? Some of them are, I guess, more likable, but they're mostly more dislikable, but they probably still would make them more interesting. But that being said though, it isn't really like not many of the soldier guys has died in history right now. They have died more earlier, and now it feels more like the author, I guess, has like kind of crystallized who they want to say focus on. Ogata is alive, someone, etc. And they want to focus on those characters. They have their backstories, and they probably also increases their survivability flags, so to speak. Yeah, but I also feel it lowers the death flag, right? Because now the author spent more time building up certain characters in Tsurumi's, team, or also maybe traitors, but they can, those guys surrounding him or Hikata, and they probably have higher survivability then. I would say so. This became the full review anime. This is the full review anime now. We keep going here, guys. It became the full review anime, but I've been thinking about it, right? And it comes back to me now. Yeah, it happened earlier, but I think it's a good, honestly, in my opinion, a good comparison of it, right? That this season is primarily more about the soldiers, yeah, or at least a lot more than it was in the past, right? It felt like only Ogata. Well, actually, okay, he also had a backstory with the hunting as well. Now, okay, a few of them had some backstory earlier, but that was mostly the guys that was a lot in focus, right? Like, the guys that were very focused. But now it feels like we know most of the teammates of Tsurumi, so to speak, or some of them are Hikatsu too now. But most of those guys have a backstory now, even if it doesn't feel they are the main characters or even part of the main character crew. Because it makes more sense to have like Ogata's backstory, right? He's part of kind of the main squad for a while, so his backstory. I suppose, right? And now it feels like we have a bunch of more backstories about a bunch of characters that will probably never join kind of the main squad, but they still have their backstories. So it definitely feels like the authors crystallized more like these are the main guys now in the solid team. That being said though, it makes some sense because the Tsurumu and Tsurumi and his team clearly has a lot of lost, right? They have lost soldiers. So he's also kind of, they have lost, let's say 10 people or whatever, right? So now they're down, like half the team is down or whatever. So of course it's more less focus on the 10 because they're left. But I do think it really, as I mentioned, I do think it really does mean that the common characters will have a lower chance of dying, right? I feel death flags have been very much reduced. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe they all die next later. But I don't think so. I think it really means that the authors, like these are the main guys, right? They're gonna probably stay, most of them, for a while, right? Certainly more of them will die and other things will happen to them, as Gold Kamuy. Kamuy has a very low life, survivability is very low in this anime, right? But I still think that these guys now have much higher, or they need to have bigger scenes, right? But it's now, because now it's a like Ogata fight, right? And honestly, I love Ogata, and the last scene there with Ogata when he's training to snipe with his other eye, right, or hand or whatever, because he injuries also, he can't use his normal hand, he's using left eye, so on. It feels like Ogata's last, it's like, oh, I'm a sniper gonna kill someone, you know? I feel he doesn't actually talk about Sugimoto. It might be Sugimoto, but it sounds like he's gonna go and snipe Tsurumi, right, or someone else as Tsurumi's team, because he's kind of added up now with Hiyakata, right, Matusai, and necessarily isn't Sugimoto is like a personal revenge thing for him, but he also might just go and shoot someone at the other team, right, of the other soldier team, because he's like, screw those guys, they betrayed me, right, and also he kind of works with the other teams, so I think he might just snipe them instead. That's kind of how the episode really built up. He's gonna shoot Usami, yeah, he's probably gonna try to shoot either him or Tsurumi, but I feel Ogata, the way he thinks, I would argue that his aim should be Tsurumi, because shooting the guy that loves Tsurumi because you hate him, right? That's superficial. Yeah. Ogata I feel is much more likely to go after Tsurumi because he wants to piss the other guys off. You know what I mean? He wants to eliminate Tsurumi because then the other guys will feel sad or whatever. Right? That's I feel how Ogata thinks. Yeah, he's more like, I want to inflict them pain, so I will take away the one they love, right? That's probably how he thinks, rather than just shoot the guy he hates, right? Yeah, I think he's gonna, instead of shooting the person he doesn't like, he's gonna shoot the guy they love instead. Yeah, that's something like that. Yeah, it's more cynical. He's very, very cynical. It's not about this love thing, right? So I think that's a much more Ogata way to do it, in my opinion. Yeah, in my opinion. Let's say I'm right on that, but it feels like he's gonna try to do that. Probably more, yeah, because I don't think it's gonna. Ogata has never been a character who cares too much about his personal stuff, except of course the main character Sugimoto. But it's because he's the main character, it's kind of given right there. I think he's more interested in how they act, because how Ogata thinks, right, is like he kills his brother because he wants to see how his father reacts, right. He doesn't really kill his brother because he hates his brother. It isn't about that. It isn't honestly really about jealousy in a way. He's more about like, what will my father do if his sons die? You know, what is their reaction? Yeah, he's just a crazy psychopath that wants to see their reaction, right? So I think again, like I said, I think he might go and try to snipe Tsurumi, right? Hopefully he might even succeed, right? Because he's like, I want to see their reaction, yeah. So that sounds a lot more like Ogata's way of thinking, more than just being like, I hate this guy, I shoot him. That's more like, who do he like? Yeah. Can I kill his wife? You know what I mean? Yeah, Inkarmatsu. Yeah, that's something more like Ogata, right? Going for the one they like. But yeah, so like I said, the main story, the solid story, interesting. But I do feel a little I see that's anime, but definitely feel a little lacking on. Like, to iterate back here, like I said, yeah, it's better on the solid storyline. It's better on these, like, you know, those guys, but it's weaker on the prisoner storylines, right? It started out better than that, then it kind of felt like it left a bit. But like I said earlier, you know, how many episodes hasn't been Actor Ripper guy? Like 5 episodes? He's been focused for so long. And then this episode here, I was hoping they were gonna defeat him, you know, like this episode, right? The final episode. Because, you know, last episode we saw him, right? They had a weird battle. So I was hoping that this episode we were gonna have like a conclusion, right, to his storyline. And then we had a Sirpa mentioning the clown guy, you know, the two stripe with all the weird playthings. The guy that kind of kidnaps kids. Sorry, the it guy is kind of take it. Yeah, he's like it the clown, right? He goes at the children, you know what I mean? He's like, it floats down here, yeah. That guy, he was shown briefly one episode or 2 episodes, right? And then Sirpa mentioned him. I think it was someone mentioned him that they figured out that he was a killer. Yeah, so I think it was Sirpa. Someone mentioned that they figured out that the clown guy was him, right? That he's obviously one of the killers. And I mean, it's the most obvious thing ever. Like the guy with like the paintings of a kid and like the clown costume. Yeah, he's the killer. You know what I mean? He's like the most obvious horror thing ever. Oh, you mean the clown guy over there with the weird face paintings? And like, oh, children, yeah, that guy's the killer. Yeah, he's like the most obvious horror anime. You know, not anime, but I mean, you know, like I guess more 80 or 90 horror movies. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the guy there in like the evil clown suit with the evil smile and like the saw or whatever, he's probably a murderer. Yeah, like he screams, you know, like evil clown. Yeah, he's like the most obvious evil guy. Honestly, yeah, the clown guy is probably the most obvious evil guy in the whole anime. Straight up, yeah. The crazy clown guy, he looks like straight up a typical sociopathic clown serial killer. Like no one else in this anime, I would say, is so obviously evil like him. Yeah, no one else. No. Like the hunter guy. Remember the hunter? The hunter guy, right? with only 1 bullet per shoot. He's like a normal hunter. He had a great backstory actually not being an evil. He's like a neutral guy, yeah. He wasn't necessarily evil, right? He was, you know, like, oh, he just killed a guy in defense, basically, yeah. He could be like a normal hunter guy, right? Let's look at, well, at the pirate guy, you know, the Kappa. You know, now he's like kind of like a long-haired guy, fabulous guy, yeah, he doesn't look really evil. Who more do we have that could pass for normal? I guess like the Trap Master, yeah, she could gonna pass, you know. She's like an attractive woman, right? Of course she's, you know, gender benders is big, but yeah, no one will figure out that she's evil, right? If you just look at her normal face. Then of course, if they know that she's actually, you know, cross-dressing or whatever, it's different, but from face value, no one can tell that she is a woman, you know, that she is like a pure woman, so big. Well, you know, she's transsexual, yeah, no one can tell that, right? So, again, right, good example of, you know, like, no one would tell that she's like a bad person, right? Or a serial killer or whatever. She's a prisoner. And then you meet up and she beats like traps everywhere. Yeah, but she actually has like a million. But I mean, that's also one of her strengths, right? Yeah. She's like a normal woman, right? She's like a normal, attractive woman, but she actually is like a serial killer with traps. And then, of course, that's one of her strengths because you will drop your guard. Oh, and then she actually half her house is like filled with deadly traps, right? Like freaking Collector in the horror movie, or like Michael Culkin, yeah. She's like cross-dressing Michael Culkin, yeah. Home Alone, yeah. She's like the last bit of traps, man. You're like, what is this thing? Yeah. But exactly, I mean, half the prisoners, you would never tell that they are like an insane serial killer, right? Or usually insane, but yeah. But some of the older, you definitely would. And the clown guy in this season, he's clearly again the most obvious. Like, oh yeah, this guy is clearly evil. Like if he isn't evil, he's clearly insane. You know what I mean? If he isn't an evil person, he's clearly mentally deranged. Like, yeah, it's dangerous, right? Yeah. Best case scenario, he's not evil. He's just really, really mentally insane, and that's also dangerous for you, right? Like, oh, let's have him. Or he's just, you know, pure evil. Yeah, he's both, right? Yeah. So, but I come back with earlier. It bothers me a little bit that we have introduced this like really crazy clown guy, and at least I think 2 people have figured out that he is the prisoner they're trying to find. Right? He's like so obviously evil, and yet we haven't really. Yeah, I don't think so. Really, right? We haven't really concluded those storylines. So yeah, it does bother me a bit. Yeah, I think that the early seasons he probably would have been dead already. Yeah, they probably would kill him. In the early seasons, he would have been in like 2 episodes, and then he would be probably killed, right, by one of the good guys, yeah, because he's like a deranged sociopath or whatever. So that would be good, right? So yeah, not a very likable character. I don't know. What do you guys think? Still overall, I think it's a great anime, right? Lastly, in this full review, as I mentioned earlier, in 3 weeks ago, whatever, the quality clearly is lower, right? It doesn't bother me that much. Because I know that the anime, of course, we know that the anime has issues. We know that unfortunately a person died, right? Working on it, not on the set, I guess, but like, you know, with accidents or whatever, right? Between it. But it is noticeable, clearly. I have to address it, right? I don't think it ruins the anime, of course, but I have to address it from an objective standpoint. That clearly the CGI and so on, especially the boats, right? Looked pretty terrible, yeah, and it was like a cheap CGI, and it could be done better, and it probably would be done better, right, if it was produced last year, yeah. So it is clear that the quality of the anime definitely went down a bit, right, in this like second half that we got this year, right. Clearly the budget is lower and so on, but this anime is very understandable, right, because they had to take a break, and then of course now the anime earns less money, right. And like I said myself too, of course, this video or the videos, right, makes less views, right, because this anime isn't that popular to begin with, of course, unfortunately, and then having this like weird sudden break, of course, was an accident, but still, right, having a break, and then coming back kind of randomly in this season. I mean, you know what I mean? It definitely feels like, of course, a lot of people aren't gonna buy the mangas or whatever right now, right? The anime is mostly done, right, to sell the mangas or other merch that around, right? And of course, they know that, well, if you have to delay it and this and that, it's gonna sell less manga, right? So the budget, of course, is cut, right? So it definitely makes sense. And but I think honestly, in most animes, I would be like, oh, this is pretty shit, right? I would have been like, oh, it's pretty terrible. But in this anime, I think it is fair to say that it is okay, right? Honestly, because here we know that they have issues. out of their control, right? And then they also have a budget slash, right? Like a massive budget. We know that. But in other animes, I can feel sometimes we use like, this makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like the budget is the same. It's really terribly done. Or you know what I mean? The other animes, which is like, this is not a budget issue. This is a terrible production issue, right? Or this is a terrible director or whatever, so to speak. I'm not saying names here, but there are other animes which is very clear that the issue isn't like the director or the budget, right? But this anime here, I think we can be a little bit nicer. I feel so. Maybe I'm just like that. Maybe I'm biased, but I don't think it's biased because here it is still like, here's a very obvious like budget cut. You know what I mean? Here's like, okay, something terrible happened. It's budget cut, and also I think last as I mentioned earlier, like, Golden Kamuy is a very niche anime. I mean, I can say it's one of my favorite anime, but it is a very niche anime to begin with, right? They don't have that much money budget to begin with compared to like One Piece or whatever, yeah, the bigger anime. They don't, right? So it's also like cutting this anime budget is a big thing, right? Where in other major animes that produce a lot of money, you do feel a little bit like, yeah, because there are other animes which is so much more income, you know, generating for the companies, and there you feel like, my god, this CGI is just terrible, and you feel like, oh, this anime is like the second biggest anime this season, there's a lot of money in it, how can it be so, you know, poorly done, right? This anime instead is like one of the lowest popular animes, like one of the bottom tier animes for popularity standpoint, and also it's delayed half a year because of the debt. Then you're like, well, I can see why they can't afford better CGI. You know what I mean? Honestly, here it feels like, I understand why you can't afford more CGI, because you make like no money on this thing, right? You make so little money on this anime, so of course you can't have the best CGI. But in other animes, it's like you make 20 times the money, you still have the same CGI quality, right? Then you feel it's cheap. Yeah, that is a good question. Yeah, if you make like 20 times the money, but the CGI costs the same, then you're like, this is just cheap now. Yeah, you're cheap because you have 20 times the money. Here you have no money. Okay, cheap CGI. Because there are some animes where you definitely have like, they have so much money. How can they make it better? You know what I mean? Like, it's, yeah, here I'm definitely giving some slack, right? But to be fair, objectively speaking, obviously CGI and some other padding issues and some other frames and there's some other graphical issues in the anime. Absolutely. Absolutely. The anime looked better before the skip, right? Absolutely. You can't ignore it, right? If I just watched the anime having no context to it, right? If I sat here 10 years later and just binged the whole anime, right? Then it definitely probably would be right, you know? If you binge the anime, yeah, 10 years from now, and suddenly the quality drops, like clearly drops after episode 7, 8, whatever, 6, whatever it is, yeah, like it drops there, and it clearly has like lower budget, then you probably wonder what happened, right? But we have the actual answer, but I mean, then it will feel more like, wow, yeah, here the quality went down, yeah, unfortunately, right? You can't ignore it. I have to bring it up. I feel a full review. I feel to bring it up, right? Because it's like, well, I'm doing a full review. I want to be unbiased. I want to be unbiased as much as I can, of course. And like I said, you can't ignore that it looks worse after the unfortunate event. You can't ignore that, right? It definitely does. But end of the day, Golden Kamuy isn't like an. Yeah, end of the day though, all that being said, Golden Kamuy, luckily I suppose, isn't an anime on its graphics right now. It's an anime on its characters and the storytelling, right? So end of the day though, it doesn't matter to me that much. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a video game where you talk about graph versus gameplay, right? Golden Kamuy is a gameplay anime. Yeah, it's about gameplay, right? It's about crazy fights, weird guys. You know, it's about weird stuff, right? Yeah, so on. It's not about graphics, right? We have an anime like Demon Slayer, right? You know, I like Demon Slayer, but clearly Demon Slayer is an anime about graphics primarily, right? You know what I mean? It's about the effects, right? Yeah. If Demon Slayer dropped quality like halfway through, right? Like 50% graphical effects, right? Then people will go crazy, right? Because that anime is mostly graphics, right? You know what I mean? There's more a graphical game than a gameplay game, so to speak. And it's always kind of, you know, the critique of Demon Slayer, I suppose. So I won't bring in new grounds. It's a good example of it. But this anime is the opposite, right? So of course it doesn't matter that much. Which, like I said, is luckily in the end, right? Because Golden Kamuy is an anime where you clearly feel like I could watch it even if it was like, you know, way ugly too. I was still enjoying it, right? Yeah, generally speaking. So that's kind of a full review this season. Hope you guys like it. Now it feels weird I started it, but whatever. Direction first, full review here. As I said earlier in the video, I kind of wanted to make a full review of season anyway, because I love Golden Kamuy. So here we go. I hope you liked it. It was a little bit, like I mentioned earlier, damn it, I kind of wanted to rewatch. I kind of wanted to rewatch the episodes before, but whatever. I mean, I have almost perfect memory, more or less. I have an incredibly good memory, right? As you hopefully have noticed in small videos, I have a very good memory. I remember all the episodes. Yeah, like I said earlier, it kind of comes back to me. Right? When I started reflecting over the episodes, then I started remembering. Oh yeah, the random guy. Then it all kind of, and my memory, I can perfectly picture everything that's in my life. So I can, if I see a screen, right, a book, whatever, I can like perfectly, copy it, right. So as soon as my brain start talking about the anime, I can like imagining the episodes. It's kind of like a tape, I see the episode of me. I see the dialogue, I see them say what the colors, I see everything. So it's kind of like I'm a flashback to all anime in my head, right? So I reflect over it. It's kind of my brain works. So that was my re-binging it, yeah. So talking about it, now I remember everything. But honestly, the more I talk about it, the more I remembered every episode in my head. The more I kind of flash past all episodes. Like, yeah, I don't remember. Now I remember it. Now I remember all episodes. I have to also think Bam, yeah, describe something right, if you like, I guess more niche animes, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, I always say that, but I really like Golden Kamuy, and it's unfortunate how the anime is so niche, right? It's really unfortunate, and as I said earlier this year, right, it really didn't help, of course, that with this tragic event. I mean, this anime is basically dead, right? I expect this video to get like 10 views, right? Yeah. But honestly, yeah, it's very unfortunate. This video, whatever, this anime is gonna have very few views. No, I haven't seen anything about, season 5, right? But we will see what happens. Unfortunately, of course, it is way less likely, right, for a new season, given that, of course, a person died on it and delay and so on, yeah. And again, right, it obviously means they make less money on it. So season 5 is definitely way less likely than it normally would have been, right? Because of course, this anime here, again, has produced less monetary gain, right, for the studio, which of course objectively makes sense. I mean, logically it pans out. So I am not, I guess, expecting fortunately season 5, right? But we will see. And if you don't get an announcement, I will have to read the manga, right? Because I haven't read the manga, I only have read the manga afterwards to compare, right? But they actually have been pretty rapidly in the past announcing 3 and 4 and so on. So I think we're gonna have. I feel like we should know if he gets more anime soon. Maybe they have. I mean, honestly, I just come back from wedding, right? I just come back home, just a few hours ago for this wedding. So I haven't really checked out Twitter, so I haven't checked out any news. Maybe it's been announced, but I haven't seen anything. I checked very briefly for this video, and like I said, I don't have my high hopes. Right? I don't have my hopes up because I keep saying it doesn't make sense, from like the money they probably lost of it. They probably lost money, right, making this anime. Yeah, the many animes they lose money making, and this anime I would definitely assume they lost money on. Honestly, I know for a fact, and also. Of course, after this we have the Blu-ray DVDs. We have the sales coming, yeah. We have to see how much people buy the stuff on the sideline, right? If it sells a lot, they might make a season 5, I suppose. That is probably the determination of it. How much does the extra stuff, like the DVDs, on sells afterwards? That is probably pretty big for this anime. I guess so. And it's a very popular. It's a very. I'll tell you the positive thing here. Golden Kamuy is, of course, very highly rated, meaning that it's not very popular, right? I mean, like in total numbers, but people that watch it loves it, like me, like you and me, yeah, we love it, right? The few people that watch it, we love it. So I do think that it has high sales, given its viewers, right? So other animes might have same amount of viewers in total viewer numbers, but they sell less stuff on the side, right? Because they have less fans. This anime is very highly rated, but in a small population, right? But that small pop is very dedicated, so that still might make it survive them because they buy a lot of stuff. I guess compare it to in gaming, for example, fighting gamers, right? Street Fighter and so, but generally the fighting game demographic is very, very dedicated. So even if fighting games doesn't sell that many copies, or they don't sell too many, how to say it, the total pop right of gamers don't buy fighting games. It's very, very low from the total population, right? You know, the 100%, 100 million people, very few fighting games. However, people that do buy fighting games, right? They buy all of them. Most fighting game players that like fighting games, they buy, you know, every fighting game. I mean, they buy Street Fighter and Guilty Gear and Blast Blue and Tekken. And I like me, so yeah, we buy all of them, you know, because fighting games, if you're into fighting games, you cannot play all of them. This is a good example of kind of like a small pop of the general pop, right? But that small pop buys everything that is produced in what they like. And I think Golden Kamuy is an anime like that, where it's a small pop, but they buy a lot. Yeah, they buy everything. That's my hope. But I think it makes sense, you know. I think Golden Kamuy has very good sales, like comparable to its views, right? You know. But all the animes might have actually more total views or fans or whatever, right? But those fans aren't as into it, so they don't buy as much stuff. I think it's very fair to say Golden Kamuy, because it's so, again, highly rated by its fans, right? But let's see what happens. But I am definitely don't have super high hopes for it. But as you guys have, great subscribe, so we have new animes, of course, coming next season, right?